Okay, so today we don't have electricity, so it will be dark, right?
Yes, Shadow.
Mm.
Okay. Shadow, are you ready to start the Dhamma talk?
Okay, ready?
Okay. Wandami Shadow and good evening, everyone. Good morning for everyone in the East Hemisphere. Welcome to the 7 days plus 14 days Samatha-Vipassanā Meditation Retreat conducted by Sarah Ugania and Sarah Kovida. Today, Sarah Kovida will continue with the Dhamma talk on the Bojjhanga Sutta, Part 3. Today's session is scheduled to last 1.5 hours, with 1 hour 15 minutes on coursework and the remaining 15 minutes on Q&A. May we now respectfully invite Sarah Kovida to start today's Dhamma talk, and may we invite both interpreter Bhante to start the translation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So we will pay homage to the Buddha. I recite the Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Today we will continue Mara's armies. Yesterday we have already finished up to 8, Mecca and Tamba. Today we will continue Labo, Silogo, Sakaro, Nichala Doja Yoyaso. So when we talk about lava, that is a gain. And Siloka means fame. Sakaro means special favor given by community. We can also say Sakara means the supported people will support him with special donations. That means he's a VIP in the community. You can say Sakaro, right? Tamicha Lado, Yaso. Yaso means attendance or revenues. In our modern society, we can also say followers. Then Michalado means he obtains all these things improperly. So later I will explain something improper. So when we can explain the Dhamma to lay devotees, they may gain faith and honor us too much. They may offer 4 requisites, twice donation, and whatever things we want. This is the nature of devotees. Then this is the first part we have to understand. All the faith come from followers. If our followers support us, we can be famous. If no follower, if we don't have any follower, we cannot be famous. So if I say briefly, fame comes from community. It does not come from ourselves. Of course, we have to do something good for the community. It depends on our actions. Then when we become famous, the meditators with mature faculties may have powerful resistance from honors and gains. That means sometimes our confidence is mature enough. It does not change to pride. Sometimes we have confidence. It will change to overconfidence. Overconfidence means we become arrogant. We become very pride and stubborn. If we have this kind of confidence, then it will spoil our practice. Also, it will spoil our lifestyles. So then if they don't have powerful resistance, that means their faith is also not mature enough. Then their wisdom is also not mature enough. Their concentration, their efforts, their mindfulness, all the faculties are not strong and powerful enough. Then they don't have powerful resistance from those gay and fey. So those people may create new meditation methods in order that they may gain more and be honored by people more. So this is just an example. Actually, there are many, many new creations, new inventions in modern society. Although we say we are Buddhists, there are many, many new traditions of Buddhists. Although we say we are meditators, we have many, many different traditions of meditation. So sometimes they create new methods, then they say this is their methods, their tradition. Actually, meditation, Buddha meditation should be from the Buddha. It should come from Buddha's teaching. So not only that, there are many, many other problems in the practice. For example, in modern society, and many people, they say that morality is not important. Only Vipassana is more important. They also say that kind of things. They also mislead people by saying like this. Not only that, they also say concentration, samatha is not important. Vipassana is more important. Then by saying like this, they also make people to go the wrong path. Mostly people like easier way. That is why when they can create easier methods, easier way, they like more. So anyway, you get more favor from donors and devotees. Also, to gain more, they may create many different things. They may attract people by using many different ways. This is also called michalata, improper earning, improper devotees or improper followers. If we study Vinaya, we have many, many methods we call kuladusika. Kuladusika means spoiling people's faith. This is also really very important. If we spoil people's faith, then it's not easy for them to change. They may believe in the wrong thing. After a long time, they're going to change their belief and their mind. That's why there are many different ways of michalata. Then again, many people like strange and powerful, wonderful things. So that means, for example, in modern society, I have met many people in many different traditions. Also have been to many different countries. Then they also say very, very strange things to me. For example, arhat. The first time when I heard something about an arhat, then one of my disciples told me, Bande, can Buddha come and praise an arhat? Then I was so surprised. And there's a one arhat in Thailand. So when he attained arhatship, many Buddha come and praise him. So all the Buddha has entered Nibbana, they cannot come anymore. But people believe him. This is called wonderful things, right? It's very wonderful, wonderful stories, but it's not truth. Also, in that kind of arhat, there are many, many followers. Many people follow him, although it's misleading. So he also become very famous. That's why they may follow famous and wonderful teacher. This is a normal. People follow. Famous one. Well, if somebody can say wonderful things, they like that kind of teacher. So when we have gain, fame, honor, and revenues by creating improper meditation methods, we are attacked by Mara's armies. Actually, this is just a sample. Improper meditation, this is just a sample. Actually, there are many, many improper gain, improper fame, improper followers. That means he gained followers improper way. For example, without following Vinayas properly, then he may pretend or he may declare and follow Vinaya rules. People believe him, follow him. Then this is also called Micha Ladwaja Yoyaso. Not only that, without having knowledge, Dhamma knowledge, he may declare, I have Dhamma knowledge. Then now modern society is very, very messy. They may read some sutta, but they don't understand properly. But they think that they are knowledgeable. Then they also teach Dhamma, saying many things as they like. Anyway, the main thing is, without having proper knowledge, then he may let people know him as knowledgeable. Then many people come to know about him and they may follow him. This is also called Michalada. Similarly, without concentration, without wisdom, he creates many, if we spread or if we declare that he has very strong wisdom, very strong concentration, and people may follow. So if we obtain, so if we have this kind of followers by declaring or by giving wrong information, this is called Mitalada, improper obtaining, improper obtaining or improper gain. So anyway, now many people wish to be famous. Many people think they are special people. They are very important person in the community. Also, they also think that they should have many followers. Then if they have many followers, then they can be proud of their ability. It's overconfidence. It will take to the arrogance. Previous one, Tamba. So all these are Mara's armies. If we are attacked by Mara's armies, we cannot improve. Also, if we can practice the seven enlightenment factor, we can release from these Mara's armies. Then the last one among the 10. Atokansana Barawambana. This one is also very common in modern society. People who have weak knowledge have the nature of extolling oneself and contempt on others. So this is a Atokansana and Barawambana. Atokansana means extolling oneself. Barawambana means contempt on others. So there are many ways. For example, there are many meditators come to PATVDH. Also now many traditions. Then they come to PATVDH from many different traditions, from many different countries. When they come, they want to prove that they are stronger than PATVDH. They are better than PATVDH. Actually, we have a very funny story. I will say some Vinaya problem in the community. So we have some issues in PATVDH, for example, Carol Jews. The Carol Jews is not allowable in the evening. Some group, they declare. Then many people ask me also, they also ask Power Theology or many different PATVDH group, and many people teach in PATVDH group. We say very simply, all the vegetable, if you don't cook, just freshly squeeze and mix up with the water, and maybe we can also add sugar, right? If arranged by devotees and samaniras, it's allowable in the evening. If you cook and make a juice, it's not allowable. This is Vinaya rules. Then they also said it is not roots, it should be just fruit and leaves, if we say vegetable. Then actually, we also have another part. When we talk about staple food and non-staple foods, they also mention something about the roots there. Anyway, the main thing is, they just wish to prove that their Vinaya is better. They follow Vinaya more strictly than Paudaya. Then finally, when I visited their country, I realized, oh, they're just showing they are better. But in reality, the way they follow is very risky. Anyway, this is the way of people in our modern community. Mostly they want to prove that they are better than other people. They are better than other people. They have that kind of mind. When we have that kind of mind, it's also Maras armies. Actually, if we wish to have, we must not declare public in public, right? We must approach, is allowable something? Personally, we can discuss. If something's wrong, okay, we also follow. Anyway, the main thing is there are different traditions, a different way of practice. For example, when I visited Thailand, then they may drink coffee in the evening, but we don't drink in the evening. In Myanmar, especially Paul people, we don't drink coffee in the evening. Then there are many other cases. Okay, as they believe, let them do. This is their tradition, right? We don't criticize, oh, why they are drinking coffee or something. This kind of mind is not really very heavy mind. This is a tradition already. We call Ajara Sila. Ajara Sila means that is their tradition. So if we don't know how to respect other people's tradition, we cannot live together. We cannot work together. So here in the case of Atukansana, it was spoiling the community. So we think I think I'm higher than other people. Wherever I go, people must favor me. If I have that kind of mindset, then it was fine. People's faith. It was fine. Community. Not only that, contempt on other people. We criticize other people to prove that we are right. We are good. Then in this kind of mindset also, not very healthy. So thinking that they are right and all other people are wrong, they may prove how they are right, given unclear and unreliable source of reference from the text. Actually, sometimes we also have some difficulty with the Pali source. Mostly people don't read full text. They just pick up some part of Pali and they just try to debate. This is also a little bit risky. Okay, I will show very practical questions that happen to me. When I say something about the text, for example, about breathing meditation, Sabakaya Samvedi, for example, right? Sabakaya Samvedi have very, very messy explanation from many different teachers. Sabami, all over, or every. Kaya me, the body. Samvedi me, experiencing or knowing. So that is why people misunderstand. We must know the breathing everywhere in the body. In the case of Sabakaya Samvedi, it doesn't mean all over the body. It just means breathing body. That means only breathing in, breathing out. It must be on the touching point. So we have many different similes mentioned in the Pali Canon. Anyway, the main thing is, if I say it's not like this, it just means only round nostril. Don't follow any body part. This is according to the text. Then they also put counter questions. should we follow the text? The Buddha said in Kalama Sutta, you may also know Kesamoti Sutta or Kalama Sutta, the same, right? Kalama Sutta, don't believe the text. Then they have this kind of questions. And I say, okay, have you read full text of the Sutta? Then they keep quiet. After that, I also continues. In the same Sutta, the Buddha also said, practice. If something is beneficial, useful for you, accept it. So now without practicing, then they just try to reject the text. So sometimes we just pick up some part of the text, Pali source. We don't read full source. It becomes very risky. Okay, the main thing is they don't understand very clearly, but they think they are knowledgeable. They know many things. They want to prove that they know many different things. Anyway, the main thing is, if we think we are higher than other people, that all other people are lower than us, when we have that kind of mindset, that means Mara's armies. We cannot be on the top all the time. There will be different case and different traditions and different area. Then there will be different preference, different VIP also, right? That's why if we have sub-historian and also contempt on others, this is Mara's armies. If we have this kind of mindset, it will spoil the community, it will spoil ourselves. Okay, now, when one of these Mara armies arise, we encounter many difficulties in meditation. So as we have already learned 10 Mara's armies, for example, the first one, sensual pleasure or sensual desire, or the defilements, sensual objects. If we have one of the disturbance, then it will take time to improve. If we think about the declinations of concentration, the defilements is also one of the reasons, one of the cause. When we have defilements, then we will decline faster. We will lose our concentration faster. Also, it's very difficult to regain concentration. That's why when we have Mara's armies, we may encounter many difficulties to improve in our meditation. Then the Buddha also said that these 7 enlightenment fetters can destroy the Mara's armies. This is from Mahavaka Samyutta. So that means if we can develop the 7 enlightenment fetters, we can be free from Mara's armies. We can defeat Mara's armies. So these enlightenment fetters are powerful weapons to fight against Mara's armies. So now we are going to learn 7 enlightenment fetters. We are fixing arms to fight against Mara's armies. So if we have strong weapons, we can also fight against very powerful Mara's armies. So these are the basics of Sutta. As we mentioned in the very beginning, we have one part of stanza, Mara Sena Bamadane, defeat Mara's armies. Okay, now, when we can apply these enlightenment fetters for the development of worldly affairs, they are fake enlightenment fetters because they cannot destroy defilements and they cannot cause the realizations of Nibbana. Also, it's possible for fake enlightenment fetters in daily life. For example, when we are going to earn, we will be very diligent. We have Bojjhanga, right? We also try very hard. Similarly, we may be very mindful. We may be aware of many conditions. Then it also can be helpful for business. That is why if we apply all these things in worldly affairs, seven enlightenment fetters in worldly affair, this also can be good supporting causes, good producing causes to succeed or to achieve something we wish. But if we apply in worldly affair, sure, because when we earn money, we have to be greedy. We cannot destroy the defilements. Also, we cannot realize Nibbana. That's when they are called fake enlightenment fetters. So we always say body meet enlightenment of the person with quality. Right? So that means these are the cause of attaining Nibbana, the realizations of Nibbana. But here it also can be the cause of other success in daily life. Then people will apply them for seven enlightenment fetters for living without worry and fear for worldly gains. Although they are fake, they are also powerful fetters to achieve worldly success. So I don't need to explain that one, right? Another one. So what are the enlightenment fetters? So we also have to know the enlightenment fetters. We have already started our seven enlightenment fetters. So now we have the Pali sentence, Bojjhanga Sati Sankhato Dhammana Vijayo Tatha Viriyam Biti Pasati Bojjhanga Tatha Pare. This is the first part of Bojjhanga. Here, it doesn't include all the seven enlightenment fetters in this Pali. But anyway, these seven fetters of enlightenment, namely mindfulness, investigations of Dhamma, efforts or tranquility, and two others. Also the rapture, effort or energy, rapture, tranquility, and two others. So these are the introduction to enlightenment fetters. So today we should start with mindfulness, the definitions of sati. So in our modern society, many people also use awareness. Then we also say sub-awareness. Actually, there are very, very many things in modern society. They also use many different ways of mindfulness. Anyway, today I have to introduce, according to Buddha's teaching, how is it really meaning, how really means sati. Definitions of sati. 1. Lakkhana, characteristics. Here mentioned Upakanana Lakkhana sati, supporting or taking up firmly. So that means when we have mindfulness, when we have sati, we will take the object very firmly, very strongly. This is called the characteristics of sati, mindfulness. Abhilapana Lakkhana sati, not floating away from the object. So here, floating we don't have very strong mind on it, just surface. But in the case of sati, we can know the object deeply, strongly, firmly. This is called sati, mindfulness. Sometimes when we use English words, sati, mindfulness or awareness or other words, right? Then people also misunderstand. That's why we should use Pali word sati. So this is the characteristics of sati. We have two different definitions, supporting or taking up firmly. It will support our mind to keep knowing breathing or to keep knowing the object. But it will take the object very firmly. Also not floating away, it will know a little bit deeper, stronger, clearer. Rasa function. Asamosana rasa. absence of confusion, or non-forgetfulness of the object. So here we have already mentioned asamosana, non-confusion. So if we say non-confusion, it's very clear. Also, non-forgetful, I mean, we can remember the object. Okay, one more thing here, we have to introduce something about sati. Sometimes we may remember many bad things, bad memories of the past. They are not really called sati. Whenever we talk about sati, we must remember that sati can remember only good things, good qualities, positive powers. This is called sati. If we have negative mindset, just remember many negativity of the past or in the present, or just try to plan mindfully, right, to do something very bad in the future. At that time, we cannot say mindfulness. We cannot say sati. Then again, Bojjhanga manifestation. Araka Bojjhanga is the guardianship of the mind and object. It will guard, the protect the mind and object. So when we have mindfulness, no other factors can interrupt. Then we can keep knowing one object. Visya Bimukha Bhava Bojjhanga. As the state of mind confronting an object, so it turns or face the object. That means mindfulness will make the mind turn to the object, or mindfulness will encourage the mind to face the object. We can also say mindfulness is also turn to the object or face the object. This is called manifestation. Bojjhanga, prosmic cause. Tila Sanya Bojjhanga. Here we can say prosmic cause is a strong, firm perception. Kaya Desati Patana Bojjhanga. That means the four foundations of mindfulness. This is called Satipatthana. They can be the prosmic cause. Well, sometimes we may remember many bad things, many negative mindsets, negative experiences in the past. At the time, we cannot say mindfulness, we cannot say sati. Here we mentioned already sanya, tila sanya, right? So at the time, we can also say it's a perception, sanya. When we can remember or when we can recall good things, it's a sati. When we recall many bad things, it's a sanya. Okay, one more thing. As we have samasati, right mindfulness, we also have metta-sati, wrong mindfulness. So right mindfulness is the enlightenment factor. We have to remember many good qualities. For example, we have 10 recollections. Buddha-nosati, recollection of Buddha's quality. Dhamma-nosati, recollection of Dhamma's quality, and so forth. Then if we remember, if we recall all these kind of good things, it's a sati, mindfulness. We can also say right mindfulness, samasati. If we just remember many bad things, for example, we may remember many anger, hatred, worry, sorry, depression, then all the things are negative. We may remember our greed of the past, our pride, repentance or regrets, all the things, then it will be wrong mindfulness, metta-sati. So when we are going to talk about enlightenment factors, it must be samasati, right mindfulness. It can destroy the defilements. If we have wrong mindfulness, we are generating unwholesome. For example, if we just recall hatred, actually we are generating hatred. Our hatred will become stronger and stronger. That's when sometimes when some of my disciples ask, we have some problem with his friends or her friends, then he hates that person, then I just recommend, don't recall how bad he is or how bad she is. If you recall, just generating agusala, just trying to recall good conditions or good quality of your enemies. It will be easier for you to maintain calmness of the mind, peacefulness of the mind. Otherwise, it will get worse. Okay, the main thing is wrong perceptions, or maybe the perception that associates with any kind of unwholesome state is called mithya. Then when we are going to develop the enlightenment factors of sati, mindfulness, then we also have to know many different things. Then another thing, aramane dhanlam patithita pana esi kaviya Jaku dwara di rakana do dowari goviya cha databa. It should be regarded as establishing firmly on the object like a pillar at the city gate, or guarding the irons and other gates like a gatekeeper. So mindfulness is like a gatekeeper. You may remember the guardian sense doors. We call in Bali Indriya Samvara Sila. That means guardian sense faculties. So whenever we talk about this, we must remember sati, mindfulness. So it's like gatekeeper. So for the eye is the door. All the good things and bad things can come to our eyes. We can see everything. It depends on our minds. If we have wise attention, it will be kusala. If we have unwise attention, it will be akusala. Unwholesome mind and wholesome mind. So we can filter to have good things in our minds with mindfulness, sati. Like a gatekeeper. Gatekeeper will check everything. Okay, now modern society, you may not understand gatekeeper, right? But we should say like a checkpoint or toll gate. So when you go somewhere, you must pass toll gate. Then they may scan your car number and other maybe all other formations. After that, open the gate and you can go, right? So if you don't have a legal car or any legal ownership of the car, then there will be the problem also. Anyway, the main thing is mindfulness, sati is like gatekeeper. It will check all the necessary things. Then also, it will allow only good things to enter to your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, body, and mind. This is called Indriya Samvara. To protect ourselves from defilements, mindfulness is a very powerful weapon. That's why in the very beginning, the first part also mentioned like a pillar at the city gate. So in our modern society, we don't have that kind of culture. But in India and in Nepal, we can see the city gate. Very big pillar, very strong pillar. So that means it will take the object very firmly, like a pillar. Then again, sati is also necessary factors for wealth, health, business, learning, teaching, practicing, training, trading, farming, and associating with anybody. Also many other issues. So in our modern society, we also have very familiar words, self-awareness. Actually, self-awareness is just worldly mindfulness because it cannot overcome defilements. Maybe up to some level, sometimes it also can overcome some defilements. Anyway, the main thing is mindfulness, sati is very powerful in our daily life also. When we have mindfulness, we can also be successful in many different cases. Okay, now we have to start, okay? The more mindfulness we have, the less weakness we have. So, I mean, if we are mindful, the more mindful we are, the less weakness we have. So we have many weaknesses. If we are aware of that weakness, we can change. The Buddha also said, a foolish man, as long as he knows that he is a foolish, he can be wise. This is from Dhammapada. Similarly, if we are aware of our weakness, we can change. We can be better. That's why we may have less weakness when we are mindful. Wise attention is producing cause of mindfulness. That means here we have to say wise attention. Wise attention means we can also like a positive thinking. If we say easier way. Then we also have many other wise attention. That means when we have wise attention, we just accumulate only wholesome deeds. It will produce many wholesome karmas. That's why this is also important. Now, what does it mean wise attention when developing these alignment factors? Actually, we have to explain many different types of wise attention. Okay, now we have the factors here. 4 things leads to the arising of enlightenment factors of mindfulness. Now, 1, sati samatha, having mindfulness and clear comprehension. This is also really very important. Mostly people understand 2 different things together, sati and samatha. Sati means mindfulness, samatha means clear comprehension. Actually, samatha also a kind of wisdom. So I have already explained sati, but I have to explain samatha later. It's very deep. Also, I have to explain many different things. Then 2, Mutta Sati Buggala Parivachana, the avoiding of person with confused mind. So we must be very careful. Sometimes our friends, our associates, our companions can influence our mind, can destroy our mindfulness. So for example, when we associate with confused people, they will talk about many confusion part of their practice. I have said the same thing many times in many different Dhamma talks. When I arrived at PATVDH, now we have the group of meditators. So we can go to Pausero to report our meditation in the evening. On the way back, one of my senior asked me for help to shape his head. So mostly in forest monastery, we just shape our hair by ourselves. But he cannot shape by himself, so I have to help him. It will take only 3 minutes. But within 3 minutes, he talked about his difficulty in meditation. He said, oh, and you are lucky, you can see the light very bright. And, I cannot see my light very bright. At night, it's totally dark. I cannot see the light. But daytime, I'm okay. That's why when I try at night, this way, then he has this kind of difficulty, this kind of difficulty, this kind of difficulty. He talked about many difficulties. I have to listen because I'm shaving his hair. But at the very night, I cannot meditate well because of conversation, So this is the way. If they don't have mindfulness, the very strong mindfulness, they may talk about difficulty, many confusable points. It will make you confused. You cannot meditate well. That is why you have to avoid this kind of people. If somebody gives you very confusable information, be careful. This is not a good person. That kind of person cannot have your meditation. 3. Upatita Sati Bogala Sevana. Association with persons who keep mindfulness ready for application. So this is also important. If we associate with mindful person, we can emulate, we can imitate the way they practice. If something unclear, we can also ask their advice. They can help us. That is why that kind of association is also important. One more thing. When we say association, it doesn't mean like making friends. Sometimes we make friends, but we don't know their quality. We don't follow the way they practice. In this kind of case, we can say friendship. We cannot say sevana in Pali. If we say association, in English we leave it messy, right? So I should not use English words. I should use Pali word, sevana. If we say sevana, that means we imitate, we emulate the way they practice. We just follow the way they practice. This is called sevana. So in the case of associations, it must be from the heart, not from the mouth. Then if we really associate with that kind of people, if we can follow the way they practice, if we can emulate them or imitate them, it will be for our improvement. Then 4, Data Dimuda, inclination toward mindfulness in any posture. It's also willingness to improve mindfulness. Data Dimuda, that means our mind must incline to mindfulness all the time. Because of say willingness, sometimes although we are meditating, our mind power is not so strong, our willpower is also not so strong, we cannot improve. So we should have very strong willpower, very strong mind power to practice mindfulness. These are called wise attention. So if we have all these 4 conditions, we can develop the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. If we don't have these 4, we cannot improve. Then again, I have to move another part. Definitions of Samachanya. We have 4 types of Samachanya. It will be very heavy topic for you. But anyway, I will try my best to explain. The first one, Sattaka Samachanya. The clear comprehension of the purpose or beneficial. Okay, one more thing. Sometimes, although we are doing something good, we have to check, is it really beneficial or not? For example, we may go to the monastery. It's very busy, very crowded. Then before going there, we must consider, is it beneficial or not? Sometimes we may see many different people doing many different things. Some of them are not wholesome. It just affects our mind. Similarly, when we are going to see our senior or elderly people, for bhikkhu, maybe senior bhikkhu, then although we go and respect him, but the way they behave is bad or something, is not very proper, not very beneficial. The women will not feel happy when seeing that kind of senior. Similarly, when we go to the funeral, right? Now modern society funeral is very messy, not like simple as before. Many well-decorated people come, well-dressed people come to the funeral. They like competition in the funeral, right? They just wear very smart, just competition. So when we have this kind of conditions, we should not go to the funeral. We may not have a sense of urgency by going to the funeral. We may not remember, we cannot do recollection of death when seeing many people negligent people. So that is why when we are going to do something, we must check whether it is beneficial or not. If it is beneficial, we can do it. If it is unbeneficial, we should not do it. This is called samajanya, sataka samajanya. Then sapaya samajanya, suitability. So when we talk about suitable conditions here, it should be the same as before, sataka samajanya. For example, when we go and see our senior, we should check is it suitable or not. Sometimes, okay, I already talk about my senior, right? He talk about many confusion, many difficulties about his practice. Then, if we have to hear many confusion things from our senior, sure, it will be very difficult for our practice. That's why we should check suitable or not. Similarly, when we go to the pagoda, Jetiya, sometime in the pagoda is very crowded, very noisy. Even we cannot chant anything in our mind. We're gonna focus on our chanting also. If very crowded, very noisy, it's not the proper time to go. If there's very few people, if there are very few people in the pagoda and the Jetiya, we can go. We can do puja, we can do chanting, we can also meditate. So this is called sapaya, suitability. Similarly, when we go to the funeral, and the rest I have to check suitable or not. For beginners, when we are going to practice Asubha meditation, Asubhami, repossessiveness meditation, we have to see a corpse. If the corpse, the dead body is male, it will be suitable for male. If the dead body is a female, it will be suitable for females. So we have to go to see suitable corpse. So this is also called sapaya. I remember one story in Digha Nikaya. Actually, we can also find the same story in many other commentaries. Whenever the commentator talk about sapaya samajanya, he also mentioned the same story. A Samnera and a bhikkhu go to the forest to collect firewood. So we bhikkhu are not allowed to cut the trees. The Samneras are allowed to cut the trees. Then Samnera is going uphill, and he just faced to the east. He saw a corpse. It's also a male dead body. When seeing that, he established concentration. So, okay, one more thing here. I have to elaborate a little bit more about this kind of meditation. So in the case of Asubha meditation, we have actually many different parts we should know. For example, we should know how is the eyes. Eyes opening or closing. Similarly, mouth. Mouth is closing or opening. We have to see clearly. Another thing is we can also see the body shape. For example, some of the body parts are a little bit higher, some body parts are a little bit lower. For example, after the chin, lower. After that, going up. Then, and the legs a little bit going down. Then, because the feet will be a little bit up. We have to see all the outline of the dead body. Then, after that, we should close our eyes and visualize. Not only that, we also have to know the positions of hands. We also have to remember all the joints. For example, in the shoulder, joint. Also in the elbow, we have also joint. In the hip, joint, knees, joint, and the foot joint. We have to remember all the joints and their position. After that, we can close our eyes, visualize. So for beginner, it's not that easy to remember all the things, to catch very strong concentration on the dead body. It's also understandable objects. Sometimes the dead body will be very smelly. If very strong smell, we must stand upwind, right? If we stand downwind, it will be very smelly, that we cannot concentrate well. So we must stand upwind, go and see the dead body. According to the context in that story, we can understand that Samita has practiced the same method many times. He was used to be with this kind of meditation. That is why he can establish concentration easily. So we can also understand he stands down on the upwind. That's why the smell does not come to him. He could see it well, just close eyes, visualize. He could practice very easily. He could attain the first jhana. Based on that, he could also proceed practicing vipassana. In the very spot, he could attain the first part of fruition knowledge, Sarapati Mega Nepala, the second part of fruition knowledge, Sakadagami part of fruition knowledge, and the third part of fruition knowledge, Anagami. When he was keep practicing, a bhikkhu called him, Samita, where are you? Then he considered, oh, although we come together, on the way, we don't talk too much. Now is the time to reply him. Yes, I'm here. He replied. He just left his place and go and see the bhikkhu. On meeting him, the Samita recommended the bhikkhu, Bhante, please go uphill, then face to the east. It will be beneficial. It will be very beneficial for you. The Samita also knew the ability of the bhikkhu. That's why he encouraged. That means his equal friends, right? He encouraged the bhikkhus. Bhikkhu also believes Samitas. That's why he didn't put any counter question. He just go uphill, face to the east. He did the same as Samita. He attained headship. This is called sapaya, suitable conditions. So the dead body is also male. Then they also have practiced this kind of methods, the suitable conditions. Then it becomes very beneficial. The first one, sadhaka. It is also suitable for them. Then the benefit they get is a very high quality. For Samita, he could attain anagami. For the bhikkhu, he could attain a headship. It's very high quality already. So this is we call sapaya samajanya. Okay, today I'm gonna finish Gojjhara and Asamoha. It will be a little bit long. Okay, so these are for the development of mindfulness. So do revise previous one, right? The first, we had already mentioned 4 different ways to develop the mindfulness. The enlightenment factor of mindfulness. Among the 4, the first one is sati samajanya. I have already explained sati. Now I'm going to explain samajanya, but only halfway. Not halfway yet, actually. I just put only 2 of them. Actually, in the case of Gojjhara samajanya, I have to explain many things here. Just out A, B, C, D, E, right? So I have to explain all these things later. Also, Asamoha also actually very deep and very profound. Anyway, so these are the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. If we are going to develop, we must use all this formula I have already given. We must also know all the informations I have already given. So sometimes we need knowledge. to practice. Sometimes, although we have knowledge, if we don't know how to practice, then our knowledge are not that much useful. So now you can apply practically in your daily practice. So mindfulness is needed in everywhere, in any conditions. When we are going to balance controlling faculties, mindfulness is also needed. When we are going to develop enlightenment factors, mindfulness is also needed all the time. This is a really necessary factors for every meditator, everywhere, in any conditions. That's why we should try to improve our mindfulness. Okay? As conclusions, may you all be able to train yourself to have stronger mindfulness by practicing noble paths, by following and practicing 3 trainings. May you all be able to realize the final cessation and not suffering. Okay.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Sadhu, may we proceed to the Q&A?
Okay.
Okay. Dharma brothers and sisters, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, and Brother Jia Hong will bring the mic to you. And all the Dharma brothers and sisters in the online, you may send your questions to the Zoom chat also. Okay. Any questions from the floor?
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for your kindness and compassion. May I speak in Vietnamese so my Dharma friends can listen, so that Bante can translate for me into the English. So thank you so much, Sarah. I have a few questions. The first one is Ngài dạy hôm qua là không có nên phân tích hơi thở. Vậy con có đang tu tập bằng tâm thiện lý trí không ạ? Xin Ngài dạy cho con cách tu tập hơi thở trong tâm thiện hợp trí. Dạ.
Okay. Paratamika, I cannot hear.
Sarah? Sarah,
what's the question?
Sarah, please turn on the English channel.
Oh, I see.
Interpretation English, yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Can you hear
Okay,
the
now.
translation? Okay.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when we talk about jnana sampayutta, right? It means if we know something properly, we can say jnana sampayutta. In the case of breathing, if you know what's the breathing, this is jnana sampayutta already. Not because of analyzing, right? So analyzing means, for example, you may try to analyze how you are breathing touch, how far, how near. If you analyze too much, you may get confused. Right? When you have confused, it's a vichikicha, doubt. Right? This is agusala. That's why I don't recommend to analyze breathing. Not only breathing, actually, many of samatha subjects, we should not analyze. If we analyze, we will get confused. Okay?
Dạ, cảm ơn Ngài. Và câu hỏi Ngài mới vừa dạy là luôn có sati chánh niệm ở đây là có phải focus vào hơi thở trong mọi oai nghi không thưa Ngài?
Sure, everywhere, sure. You should have sati.
Any more questions? 学员们，如果你们要以中文发问也可以，我们请中译尊者翻译。如果你们不用英语问问题，你们也可以用中文发问。No question from the floor, Sarah. Can we just read from the Zoom chat first? The question.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. The first question. Okay. Wandami Siador. One. Yesterday, Siador mentioned about the mind-made fear. Which one is more obstructive to our practice and our life? Mind-made fear or ghost or Mara? 2. Some people, they are always sensitive and fearful of many things, be it real or not real or mind-made. Is it due to their karma? How to overcome this kind of mind condition? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Actually, in the case of fear, according to the first question, right? Actually, mind-made fear is more obstructed of our practice. Ghosts and Mara, actually, they are not under our control, right? Ghosts we cannot control. This is their life. Mara also not out of our control. Is his life. The only mind-made fear is the most problem in our life, in our practice. Okay, now question number 2. Then, as you say, how to overcome the mind-made fear, right? Actually, it's not because of karma, sometimes because of lifestyle also. For example, we may have some way of overcoming fear in Visuddhimagga, especially about Sosana Tutanga, China ground ascetic practice. So there are mentions to analyze or to investigate the place before we live. Okay, for example, before we are living in this cemetery, the cemetery is, if it is dark, right? The fear may arise. So before living there, at night we have to go in the evening or in the morning to check everything. So when we hear the sound, it's produced by what? What kind of parts? What kind of insects? What kind of sounds? The sound comes from the trees. The sound comes from the animals. The sound comes from the birds or any other. We have to listen all the sounds around this cemetery. Another thing is we also have to check all the visible things. For example, stumps, trees, all the things. At night, if in the dark place, although it's a tree, when trees are moving, right, we think maybe it's like a people coming, ghosts coming, we can have that kind of mind, we can get fear. The main thing is, if we're trying to know everything in detail, we may have less fear. We also have to check of what kind of fear do we have? What kind of object, right? So if we are fear of darkness, sure, we must make habit of living in darkness. So if we have fear of ghosts and maras or anything, we have to check. Is it really mara or really ghosts or just mind make? If we know everything clearly, we will not have any fear. Okay. So if we wish to know very much in detail, just go in and see Visuddhimagga about channel ground ascetic practice. Okay.
Okay. Next question. 春兰，麻烦你帮忙念可以吗？中文的。
礼敬西亚多，疑似乎很维系。每次在专注时，种种疑惑都会出现，干扰我的专注。请问尊者，当我们有这样的状况，是否每一个疑问都需要，比如在小餐时跟老师报告及澄清？我应该要怎么做？沙都沙都沙都。
Okay, it depends on what kind of doubt. For example, doubt about the practice, you can discuss with the teacher. It will be okay. If we have doubt about many other things, right, then it's not that easy to overcome. For example, you may have a doubt about the Samatha-Suttas or something, right? In this kind of case, then you must read more, you must study more. Because it just comes from yourself. For about the practice, you haven't experienced many different things. That is why it will be better for you to ask the teacher. Okay?
礼敬尊者，比如比库的护持者，看到有人来寺院，认为对方比较有钱，就上前攀谈，间接的暗示对方可以给寺院捐款。听到对方愿意捐款，就非常兴奋。这样算不算不符合活命骗境界？沙度沙度沙度。
Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 Okay. If a bhikkhu is doing that kind of things, is breaking Ajiva Parisuddhi, right? So, okay, we cannot say breaking Ajiva Sutti. That means they are not moderating in accepting donation. We can say like that. No contentment, we can also understand. What about Nugaha committee, lay devotees? In this kind of case, it doesn't matter. Because, for example, you may show your project, right? You are going to do this one, that one, something like that. Then they are willing to offer. In this case, we cannot say Ajiva, Mecha Ajiva, right? It's also okay, not really good problem for devotees.
依照悉亚多今天的解释，关于练觉知，我们在日常生活中怎样很好的、有效的培育练？请悉亚多给一些建议。沙度沙度沙度。
Okay, so I have already said 4 different things, right? Okay, the main thing is association. So if you associate with mindful people, you can emulate, you can imitate them. It will be easier. This is the first step, right? Second step, you must have willingness to develop mindfulness. Then if you are willing to do, you can do it. For example, now you are focused on the breathing. If you are willing to do, you can do it. If you have, sometimes you are willing, sometimes unwilling, sure, you cannot do very well. Okay, that's why Tadati Mudata, willingness, more inclination toward mindfulness. So we don't have any shortcuts. If you wish to be mindful, just mindful, be mindful. Okay, no shortcuts. Another thing is, now I have already talked about Samajanya. I just talked about half Samajanya, right? I haven't finished yet. Actually, all these things are also for developing mindfulness. So before doing something, check is proper or not. Okay, for example, now for meditators, when you are practicing anapanasati, when sitting, okay, just keep knowing breathing. Sometimes you cannot know. After the meditation section, you can also review. If you have good concentration, why you have good concentration? What are the supporting causes of concentration? If you have very poor concentration, you have to check why it's become very bad. What are the processing causes of that kind of quality? If you can remember all the supporting causes, then we can balance better. We can have better mindfulness. Okay? Next one. Okay, so that means as long as you can know breathing, whatever then happen, you can say is it correct, right? So safe energy, it will be fine. This one.
Next question. Vandami Siado, Uniso Manasikara is the same meaning with right thought? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, in the case of right thoughts, we have three different right thoughts. We have limited information, right? In the case of Uniso Manasikara, it's very wide. I mean, whatever good things our mind incline, we can say Uniso Manasikara. Okay. What about right thoughts? We have three right thoughts. Thoughts of renunciations. This is the first one. Thoughts of non-cruelty. Thoughts of goodwill. Three. These are called right thoughts. Okay, if we say another way, thoughts of renunciation is very clear already. Thoughts of goodwill, that means metta. Thoughts of, we can say metta also, right? Another thing is thoughts of non-cruelty, like similar to compassion or metta, right? So this is similar to metta. That's why right thought will be different from Yoniso Manasikara. Okay, next one. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. So in this case, it depends on listener's condition also, right? If listener believe, and also if listener does not break very high karma, for example, like a mighty karma, right? If it does not commit mighty karma, if we have faith in Parita, then if we have right view, it's possible to recover from sickness. But if we don't believe, or if we have many wrong thoughts, many wrong idea, and also, right? If we have committed some mighty karma, we cannot get any benefit from listening. Another thing is a reciter, chanting, right? Though bhikkhu also must chant properly. So we have some quality of bhikkhus who chant Parita. He must understand Pali. This is one thing. Grammatically, his chanting must be correct, right? Another thing is he must have loving kindness towards listeners. He must not expect the gain. Then in this way, if the reciter is qualified enough, it will be effective. Okay, next one.
Sarah, may I have a few questions about the training, please?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sarah. If có lúc con bị rơi vào trạng thái trống rỗng, không thấy được hơi thở, không thấy được điểm xúc chạm, tâm như rơi vào hư vô, vậy phải làm sao thưa Ngài?
Okay, in this case,
xúc chạm.
okay, so in this case, when your body is too much comfort, you must be very careful. So your body is too much comfortable. You like also comfortable feeling, then your mind inclined to it. Gradually, your effort become weaker and weaker, then your mind will become blurred, like as you say, empty states. Most of the time, when your concentration is stronger and effort is weaker, you may experience the same things many times. So whenever you have good concentrations or good experiences, you must remind yourself to keep knowing breathing. It will be easier for you to maintain your concentration. Otherwise, it will happen again and again. For about the touching point, as long as you can know breathing is not very important, just keep knowing breathing. Don't look for touching points too much. Okay?
Dạ, bạch sư, con có một câu hỏi là mấy hôm nay con học Pháp học cũng mở mang đầu óc rất là nhiều. Thì cho con xin hỏi là không biết chúng con có được có cơ hội học Pháp hành dưới sự hướng dẫn của các ngài một ngày không ạ? Dạ con cảm ơn.
Hello?
Dear Bande Pawara, we cannot hear you.
Okay. Possible. Okay. As long as I'm healthy and you are healthy, it's possible, right?
Dạ sa thú. Dạ xin Ngài cho con một câu hỏi là nếu khi tập niệm hơi thở một thời gian mà con vẫn không thấy phát sanh nimitta, vậy con chuyển qua niệm tứ đại, như vậy có thể chứng nghiệm được sắc chân đế, 4 tứ đại và 8 sắc bất ly không ạ? Dạ cảm ơn Ngài.
Okay, it's possible, but I don't recommend to change immediately. Maybe after some time, maybe about 1 year, 2 years, maybe, right? Try anapanasati. Then, if you're not successful, if you're not successful, although you try many years, it will be okay to change other subjects. We have some problem. If you change easily, when you are practicing 4 elements, breathing become very obvious. Then when you come back to the breathing, the 4 elements become very obvious. That's why we don't recommend to change easily, right?
Sa thú. Và cho con một câu hỏi nữa là khi mà con nghe Ngài Pa Úc dạy khi đi kinh hành thì vẫn chú tâm trên hơi thở. Con nghĩ như vậy có 2 đối tượng là đi và hơi thở. Vậy khi mà cái chân con bước, con niệm thở vô và chân trái con niệm thở ra, như vậy có đúng không Ngài? Dạ con cảm ơn Ngài.
Actually, if you do like this, you are controlling your breathing. Within a few minutes, you will feel discomfort, right? That's why I don't recommend like this. Feel free, more natural breathing. Try to know natural breathing. Don't think about legs or footsteps, right? It will be easier for you. Otherwise, it will be very messy. You should move a little bit slower than normal walking. Okay? You can also keep knowing breathing. You can also do walking. Okay, this one. Not
Dạ,
many
con có
questions
một câu
already,
hỏi
right?
cuối cùng cho ngày hôm nay ạ. Sorry Ngài, con có nhiều question.
Okay.
Trong kinh Tứ Niệm xứ, Đức Phật có dạy thở vào biết rõ, thở vào, thở ra, thở ra biết rõ, thở ra. Vậy khi con tập niệm hơi thở trong tâm, thở vào niệm thở vào, thở ra niệm thở ra, như vậy có được không Ngài?
Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay, so if you have very long breathing, it's okay. And you can do okay, no problem.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, next question. Are there many questions in the chat box?
Yeah, there are a few more questions, Sarah. Vietnamese Sayadaw, thank you, Sayadaw. Is it suitable to concentrate on dead body without attaining jhana yet? Is it suitable to practice Marana Sati for beginner? Please explain when and how we can practice it. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, in the case of samatha subjects, Ubhaka meditation and immaterial jhanas are not for beginners. For other practice, beginner also can practice. It's okay. So in the case of death body, there are some people, they are scared of death body, right? Then at night they cannot sleep after seeing death body. So for them, it's not very suitable. They are very scary, right? So another thing is about Marananusati. We have many different conditions for both practice. For example, death body. If we have too much attachment to living things, we can practice the Asubha, reversiveness meditation. Another thing is the Marananusati, which you also say when and how, right? So it will be a little bit long to explain how. I should say when. It will be easier. Sometimes we may have many plans and projects that we are negligent. We forget to meditate. At the time, we should have the perceptions of death. We should practice Marananusati, recollection of death. So here we have two different conditions for two different meditation subjects. When we have too much attachment to living things, Asubha, death body. When we have a lot of plans and projects and negligence, then Marananusati. Okay, this chosen will be this is the condition we have to practice. Then how? Okay, it will be a little bit longer because we have different information from different texts. I will say easier way. For example, you may have seen a corpse in the coffin. Trying to replace yourself there as a dead body. Then you can recall it. Maranami Bhavisati. That means I will die one day, like this dead body. Right? So if we have this kind of practicing, we can also say Marananusati. Okay, now this one.
Manami Sayadaw, how to make the breath come?
Actually, there are many different statements in the text. For example, abhoga, right? That means we just have attention to make breathing calm and stable. Or maybe we can say subtle. Actually, the breathing is in the very beginning gross, but later it will be a little bit subtle. Naturally, it will become subtle. The main thing is your mind. When your mind becomes very calm, your breathing will be very subtle. So it depends on your mind, okay? Just calm down your mind. It will become very calm, very subtle naturally.
Next question. Mandami Sayadaw, please Sayadaw advise 1. How to develop Sati Sampajana? 2. When people do dana because fear of bad result, this fear, is it Mara Ami? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So the first one, how to develop Sati Samajanya? I have to continue tomorrow, right? But Samajanya not yet finished. Today, I just talk about very simple things. Tomorrow, it will be a little bit more in detail. Then again, for about fear of death, fear of bad results, right? We do dana. So in this case, we cannot say Mara's armies. This is also good things to do, right? So in this case, we should say it's not parami, right? Because this is not strong karma. For example, we don't want to be reborn in the fourfold stage, so that's why we offer. In this case, we don't have any consideration about receiver or the benefit for receiver. That's why we cannot say it's a parami. So, okay, the main thing is, if we are going to do dana, we must think about the receiver's conditions, what receiver needs, how beneficial for receiver, right? When we have this kind of mindset, it will be parami. If we think about our own benefits, it's not parami, just dana, okay? Okay, now, this is the last one, right?
Yes, Sadhu.
Mm. Mm. He don't wish people to be free from suffering. This is his wish, right? So as a consequence, he also had to suffer a lot. So when you study Mahabodha, you can also find one of the Mara, Dusi Mara, after disturbing all the Buddhas, he fall into fourfold states. That will be the consequence of disturbing to the people, right? Okay.
Okay, Sayadaw. It is about 8:30 now. So there is no more question. So can we proceed with sharing of merits?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Sayadaw. And may Sayadaw lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits. Sadhu,
Okay.
sadhu, sadhu.
Ida wadaja amehi sambadam bunya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe satta numodandu sabba sampati siddhya idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idam me bunyam asawakaya waham hotu idam me bunyam nibbanasa patiyo hotu mama bunya bhagam sabba sadanam bhajemi te sabbe me samam punya bhagam labandu sadhu sadhu sadhu.
Thank you, Sayadaw, for your valuable teachings today. And thank you, our interpreter Bantes, for the translation. So, and thank you everyone for your time and participation. Here we have a gentle reminder for all yogis who are in the dormitory. Please do not talk in the dormitory. And also, please try to turn your cell phone and iPad to silent mode. And please take note that the lights on time is 4:30 a.m. So try not to set your alarm before 4:30 a.m. And the lights off time is 9:30 p.m. Thank you for your cooperation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So till we meet again tomorrow, may all be well and happy. Sadhu, 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 sadhu.